In this lecture, we are going to discuss the vascular system. What is the vascular system? The vascular system is a circuit which distributes blood to and from all organs. It is a circuit which distributes the blood from and to the different organs of the body. The vascular system consists of three parts: arteries, which transport the oxygenated blood away from the heart to the capillaries, and veins, which return the blood back to the heart, and capillaries, which is thin-walled vessels, which is the site of exchange of gases and nutrients and waste products and hormones. So we have three branches in the vascular system: arteries, veins, and capillaries, which is the site of gas and nutrient exchange. Generally, the vascular system formed in three layers, three concentric layers. I mean, the wall of any blood vessels are formed of three concentric layers: tunica, intima, tunica media, tunica adventitia. The word tunica means layer, but confined here to the vascular system. The word tunica means layer, but when we are talking about the vascular system, we use the word tunica. Regarding the tunica intima, it is the most inner layer. It is formed of simple squamous epithelium resting here on basement membrane and subendothelial connective tissue. The second layer is the tunica media. This is the tunica media, which is this middle layer, formed either from smooth muscle or elastic fibers according to the type of the blood vessel. And the last layer is the tunica adventitia. This is the tunica adventitia. This is the last layer, tunica adventitia. This is the outermost layer. As I said, vascular system consists of arteries and veins and capillaries. Now we are going to discuss the arteries. Arteries are classified according to its size and according to its function to three major types. The first one is elastic or conducting arteries. The second is muscular, or the other name distributing or medium-sized arteries. And the third type is arterioles. Regarding the first type of arteries, which is the elastic arteries, example to the elastic arteries are aorta, subclavian artery, common carotid, and pulmonary artery. The structure of the elastic artery. Elastic arteries have a wide lumen and very thick wall. It is formed of the three usual layers, or the three usual tunica: tunica intima, tunica media, and tunica adventitia. Tunica intima formed of endothelium, which is simple squamous epithelium, and under this endothelium is the subendothelial connective tissue and internal elastic lamina. Layer of elastic laminae compacted together to form thick lamina or internal elastic lamina. The second layer is tunica media. It is the most thickest layer. It is the most thickest layer in the elastic artery. It is formed mainly of elastic sheaths or fenestrated elastic sheaths with few smooth muscle fibers. The significance of these elastic fibers, or a large amount of elastic fibers either here or in the intima in the form of internal elastic lamina, to minute or to diminish the fluctuation in the blood pressure during systole and diastole of the heart. And the third part the tunica media also contain external elastic lamina. So in the elastic arteries, we have internal elastic lamina and external elastic lamina. The third layer, or the third tunica, is tunica adventitia, with the thin layer formed of connective tissue and the blood vessels that supply the elastic artery, which is called the vasa vasorum. This is the elastic arteries. Example here we have the aorta, As I said, we have 3 layers or 3 tunicae. The first layer is tunica intima, as I said, formed with simple squamous epithelium, and under it subendothelial connective tissue and internal elastic lamina. As I said, it is condensation of or deposition of elastin to form a lamina or form internal elastic lamina. Then this is the tunica media. As you can see, this is the most thickest layer. It is formed mainly of fenestrated elastic sheets. This line represented the fenestrated elastic sheets of the aorta, and we have external elastic lamina. Then the last layer is tunica adventitia, which formed of connective tissue rich in blood capillaries or blood vessels, which is called the vasa vasorum, to supply the above layers. Here again, this is the aorta, formed of tunica intima. Then this is the most thickest layer, tunica media, which is formed mainly of elastic fibers, formed mainly of fenestrated elastic sheaths and few smooth muscle. We have here few smooth muscle. This numerous elastic fibers to minimize the fluctuation in the blood pressure during the systole and diastole. The second type of arteries, we have here the muscular arteries. Example to the muscular arteries, we have femoral artery, ulnar, radial. The structure of the muscular arteries. Muscular arteries have narrow lumen but with thick wall. It is formed of 3 tunicae. Tunica intima, as usual, we have endothelium, simple squamous epithelium, and under it subendothelial connective tissue, then internal elastic lamina. Here the same as the structure of the aorta. But in the tunica media we have a difference. This consists mainly of several concentric layers of smooth muscle fibers. In the aorta or the elastic arteries, the tunica media formed mainly of elastic fibers and few smooth muscle cells. In the muscular artery, we have the reverse. We have numerous smooth muscle cells and very few elastic fibers. And the third layer is the same, which is tunica adventitia, the same as the aorta. We have here the muscular arteries. This is transverse section in muscular artery. We have tunica intima. Tunica intima formed endothelial, simple squamous epithelium. Under it subendothelial connective tissue and internal elastic lamina. Then the tunica media here is the most thickest layer, which is formed mainly here of smooth muscle fibers and a few elastic sheaths or few elastic fibers. And we have here the tunica adventitia, which is a connective tissue, rich or contain blood vessels called vasa vasorum, which supply the component or the layer of the blood vessel. As I said, the vascular system formed of arteries, then the capillaries and veins. We have here the blood capillaries. Blood capillaries or the capillaries is formed of thin wall vessels which connect the artery and vein. Here we have a bed of capillaries as a capillaries branch and anastomose to form capillary beds, and its diameter up to 10 micron, not exceeding 10 micron. We have here the artery and here the vein and here the capillary beds. The structure of the capillaries is formed of single layer of squamous epithelium resting on a basal lamina. Here we have single layer, this purple color represents the endothelium, or single layer of simple squamous epithelium resting on basement membrane. We have here the yellow one, this is the pericyte. This cell considered as a stem cell which can form the endothelial cell. Regarding the veins, the general structure of the vein have wide collapsed lumen, the wall less elastic, and the tunica adventitia is considered the most prominent layer in the veins or the most thickest layer, as it is contain numerous blood vessels or numerous vasa vasorum to supply the layers of the vein. According to the size of or diameter of veins, we have 3 types: venules, then medium-sized veins, or the other name muscular veins, and lastly are the large veins. Medium-sized veins, example to the medium-sized vein: femoral vein, ulnar vein, radial vein. The structure of the medium-sized vein, their wall formed of the three usual layers: tunica intima, tunica media, tunica adventitia. The intima here formed of endothelium, which is simple squamous epithelium, and under it the subendothelial connective tissue. As the usual, A and B is the usual in arteries. But here we have no internal elastic lamina. In the veins, general rule in the vein, few elastic fibers. So we have no internal elastic lamina. Regarding the tunica media, it is not thick as in the arteries. It is formed only of few layers of smooth muscle fibers. No external elastic lamina. No internal elastic lamina, no external elastic lamina. The most prominent layer here is the tunica adventitia. This is the most prominent layer, or the thickest coat here is the tunica adventitia, rich in collagen fibers and contain vasa vasorum to supply the layers of the vein. We have here the medium-sized vein. Generally, the wall is collapsed and thin, and we have here wide lumen and formed of tunica intima, endothelium, and subendothelial connective tissue. No internal elastic lamina in the tunica intima. Regarding the tunica media, it is formed of few layers of smooth muscle fibers. No external elastic lamina. The most thickest layer here is again the medium-sized vein. The most thickest layer in the medium-sized vein is the tunica adventitia, rich in collagen fiber, formed of connective tissue rich in collagen fibers, and numerous blood vessels, which is called vasa vasorum, to supply the layers of the vein. And we have here the medium-sized artery with its three layers: tunica intima, tunica media, and tunica adventitia. Regarding the third type of veins, we have here large veins. These veins with a diameter more than 10 millimeter. Example to this vein, or to large veins, is inferior and superior vena cava. These veins, as usual, contain or formed of the usual three layers: tunica intima, media, and adventitia. Intima formed of endothelium, which is formed of simple squamous epithelium. Under it is the subendothelial connective tissue, and as I said, no internal or external elastic lamina. Tunica media, as usual, also as a medium-sized vein, very thin layer, and formed of few layers of smooth muscle cells, and no external elastic lamina. Regarding the tunica adventitia, as I said, in the medium-sized vein, it is the thickest coat. Generally, tunica adventitia is the thickest coat in the veins. It is formed of abundant collagen fibers, and as medium-sized vein, numerous vasa vasorum to supply the layers of the vein. But we have here a difference, or something different, is the longitudinal smooth muscle bundles in the tunica adventitia. In addition to connective tissue, which contain or formed of abundant collagen fibers and numerous vasa vasorum, we have here longitudinally arranged smooth muscle fibers, which support the wall of the inferior or superior vena cava, or the large veins generally. We have here the large veins or inferior vena cava. As example, inferior vena cava, the three layers: first, tunica intima, endothelium, simple squamous epithelium, beneath it subendothelial connective tissue. We have no internal elastic lamina. Then tunica media, thin layer formed of concentric layers of smooth muscle fibers, no external elastic lamina. Then this layer is the most thickest, or the most prominent layer is the tunica adventitia, formed of connective tissue with abundant collagen fibers and blood vessels, vasa vasorum, and we have here longitudinally arranged smooth muscle fibers which support the wall of the inferior vena cava. Thank you for your attention.